So next is moon. The moon is the natural satellite of the earth. Moon is called the natural satellite. It's the only satellite of earth, we say. The natural satellite of the earth. Satellites are another heavenly bodies like stars, planets. Satellite also is a heavenly body moving around the planets. Okay, planets moves around the sun, satellites moves around the planets. So moon is the natural satellite of earth. Moon is the natural satellite, or it is the only satellite of earth, we say. Natural satellite of the earth. So dash is the only satellite, or the natural satellite of the earth. It is the moon. It takes about 27 days and 8 hours for what? To revolve around the sun. 27 days and 8 hours. 27 days and 8 hours. So the moon takes 27 days and 8 hours to revolve around the sun. It is our nearest neighbor. Our means Earth's nearest neighbor is moon, and has no light of its own. Moon has no light of its own. It cannot produce light. Sun produces light. Sun gives us light as well as heat. Sun has light, full of light, but moon does not have light. It reflects the light of the sun. Yes, sun's light will fall on moon and it reflects that light. Okay, as the moon has no air or water on it, it is unsuitable for any life form. Many astronauts has gone into the moon to check whether is there any chance of life in the moon, but unfortunately no air is there on the moon, no water, so it is difficult to live in the moon. So our earth is the only planet where we can live. So moon, there is no chance at all, no air, no water, so life is unsuitable there. So moon has no air and water, so it is unsuitable for any life form in moon. So moon is the natural satellite of the earth. It takes 27 days and 8 hours to revolve around the sun. It has no light of its own. It reflects the lights of sun, and as there is no water and air in the moon, no life is possible in the moon. Yes, so far we were learning about space, heavenly bodies, planets, etc. Isn't it? Yes. So we understood now what is a space. It is a vast, limitless region beyond the Earth's atmosphere, a blank area, an empty area, where the heavenly bodies exist like planets, sun, moon, stars, galaxies, solar system. Solar system includes sun and all the planets. Then galaxies means group of stars. These all exist in the space, and the vehicles that we send to the space or designed to fly into the space is spacecraft, isn't it? Yes. Spacecraft travels to the space, and the people or the person who go to the space, they are astronauts. Yes. Then we learned about the heavenly bodies. Means the heavenly bodies are the objects in the space. They are heavenly bodies. So we were learning about these heavenly bodies one by one. We learned about planets. So planets, they are heavenly bodies, revolve around the sun, and the path which they move, the path around which the planets revolving around is the orbit, and they do not have any light of their own. Planets do not have any lights of their own. Then we learned about asteroids. We learned about planets first, then we learned about asteroids. They are actually minor planets. We say smaller planets. Why? Because they are the broken parts of this main planets. They are rocky, actually, rocky body. Like actually asteroids are rocks, made up of rocks and dust particles. Then they are seen mostly between the Mars and Jupiter. Between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, we can find these asteroids more. Then we learned about meteors. They are shooting stars, isn't it? They are called shooting stars. Why? They travels in space. They are sand-like particles, very small, minute particle travels in space. But when they come to Earth atmosphere, when they enter to the Earth atmosphere, what happens? It burns and it leaves a long thin light or streak of light or trail of light. So it is called shooting star, we say. Shooting star. When many meteors, several meteors come together, it is called meteor shower. Then the another heavenly body we learned is constellation, isn't it? Yes. It is group of stars are called constellation, and they form different patterns in the sky like Scorpio, Libra, etc. These are the zodiac signs of the people. Man actually attributed this, means they all we as people are, when they born, what happens? This zodiac sign, features of zodiac signs connect to their month, which month they have born, they have connected to that zodiac sign in that particular month. And this zodiac sign, if it is Scorpio, the man who born in that particular month where this zodiac sign is there, he has these qualities or features, we say. So that's why it is said that man has attributed these 12 zodiac signs to different constellations formed in the sky. Then we learned about the moon, which is the only satellite or natural satellite of the earth. And moon, it takes 27 days and 8 hours to revolve around the sun. And moon does not have light of their own. Like planets don't have light of their own, moon also don't have light of their own. It reflects the sun's light. And there is no water or air in the moon, so no life exists in the moon. Yes. Now, next we learn more about the space. Our lesson is spacewalk. So we learn more about space. More knowledge on space. Space props. So first we are going to learn about space props. What are these space props? Astronomers use space props. It is actually spacecraft. Already we learned it is the vehicle designed to fly into space, a spacecraft. So the space props are actually spacecraft. Spacecrafts are called as space props to study heavenly bodies. Astronomers use spacecraft. Why? They want these vehicles to travel into the space to study about heavenly bodies. These planets, asteroids, meteors, constellations, stars, sun, moon. To study about these heavenly bodies, astronomers use spacecraft. They land on a planet or revolve around it. In this spacecraft, in this vehicle, they land on the planet, or they just revolve around this planet. For example, the Voyager spacecraft has sent photographs of all the planets of our solar system from a very close range. Yes, once this Voyager spacecraft has been sent to the space, what they have done, they went there near the planets, very close they went, and they took all the pictures of all the pictures of all the planets of the solar system in very close range, very near they went, and they focused those pictures and they took all the pictures of our planets or the solar system. That is about space props. They are actually spacecraft. Astronomers use this to travel into the space to study about the heavenly bodies. Examples they have given is the Voyager spacecraft. Second is telescope. Telescope. So what is this telescope? Some telescopes like the Hubble Space Telescopes are permanently stationed in outer space to observe various heavenly bodies. Actually, telescope is an instrument used to see the heavenly bodies. So this example here they have given is Hubble Space Telescope. They are permanently stationed there, where in the space, in the outer space, this telescope is stationed there itself. To observe various heavenly bodies. For the observation of all heavenly bodies, this Hubble Space Telescope is there always to observe all the heavenly bodies, what all changes are happening, how they are moving, any changes are there in the movement. To observe each and every second, this telescope is there in the space. Then space station. Next is space station. Yes, here we have railway station, bus station. So in space also there is a space station. It is a permanent space port. We have seaport, airport, like that. A permanent space port is there in space. Space port. It is space station actually. Astronauts live and carry out scientific experiments in space. Astronaut, the person who goes into the space, they live there, were in the space station. Why? They wanted to carry out many experiments there. So they live there and they do all the experiments. The International Space Station, ISS, is the only space station. The only space station is International Space Station, ISS. So the astronauts live and they do all the experiments in space station. It is actually a permanent space port, we say, and ISS, the International Space Station, is the only space station. Next is space shuttle. The fourth one, space shuttle. What is this space shuttle? Okay, it is actually space transportation system. Space shuttle is a space, we can say, as space transportation system. It is a reusable spacecraft designed for sending astronauts to space. Space shuttle is a transportation system, as I said, to transport. It's a transport for the space, for the astronauts to travel into the space, or we can say it's a reusable spacecraft. Spacecraft, you know, space prop. It's a specially it's a specially designed vehicle to fly into the space. This is space shuttle is reusable. Means whatever, once it has gone, again we can use that spacecraft to travel into the space. So that is called reusable spacecraft designed for sending these astronauts, the person who are traveling to the space to study about these heavenly bodies. To send them, we use this spacecraft, space shuttle. Discovery and Columbia are some well-known space shuttles. Example they have given, Discovery and Columbia. You can see the image here of a space shuttle image. Okay, yes. So these are the main things in the space. First we learned about space props. It's nothing but spacecraft only. Yes, they used by astronomers to study about the heavenly bodies. They land on the planet, or otherwise they revolve around the planet and they study about the planets while traveling in spacecraft. Then next, telescope. It is used to observe the planets actually, or heavenly bodies we say. And a Hubble Space Telescope, it is permanently stationed in outer space to observe various heavenly bodies. Space station, it is permanent space port we say. Astronauts, they live here and they do experiments here. The International Space Station is the only space station. Then space shuttle, it is a reusable spacecraft designed for sending the astronauts to the space. And example given are Discovery and Columbia are some famous space shuttles. You can see the image of space probe or spacecraft, Hubble Space Telescope, that's permanently stationed there. Space station, ISS, International Space Station, then space shuttle, all the images are shown here, isn't it? Yes. Space probe, Hubble Space Telescope, space station, space shuttle. Yes, all images you have seen, isn't it? Yes. Next is space travel. Yes. Now you learned about the space vehicle, what kind of vehicles are sending into the space to study about this heavenly bodies like planets and all. How astronomers go there by using spacecraft, means space probes or space shuttle, they travel there, that we came to know. Now travel, space travel. Walking on earth is an activity we do all our life here. We are living in the earth, so we do walking, isn't it? We walk every day, or someday we used to walk in the evening, morning. Okay, yes, there is an activity. The gravity on earth keeps us standing on the ground. Yes, we are walking, but we are on the earth because of which force? Gravitational force. Or because of gravity we are standing, or we are here on earth. If there is no gravity, what happens? We will be flying. If there is no gravity, because of gravity or gravity force is keeping us here, holding us here on the earth. But the astronauts wear space suits to travel outside their spacecraft. Yes, astronauts, they use spacecraft, the specially designed vehicle to travel into the space. They go in that vehicle, but once they come outside the spacecraft, they have to use space suits. Space suits. Swimming suit we say, isn't it? Specially designed for swimming purpose. We use swimming suit, like that space suit. Actually it is, they use space suit to travel outside the spacecraft. There is no oxygen or gravity in space. While we are going up higher and higher and higher, what happens? No oxygen and no gravity. So astronauts, they wanted to wear this space suit because inside that they get oxygen, air to breathe, and also water. While they are walking, they have to drink water. So for oxygen to breathe in space and to drink water and all along the spacewalk, that time during the spacewalk they need water, so they need air, oxygen. So space suit contains all of this, and also to protect them from the space dust particles and all, they have to wear space suit where they get oxygen, means air, from that they get water in that to drink, and also this space suit protects them from the space dust particles. So it is gravity that keep all of us here on the earth. We are standing on the earth, we are walking on the earth only because of gravitational force, or because of gravity. As we go higher and higher, there is no air and also gravity. So when astronomers or astronauts, when they go into the space, in the vehicle spacecraft, when they come outside the spacecraft and travels in the space, what happens? Yes, they fly because there is no gravity, isn't it? Yes, so they have to wear space suit so that they get air, oxygen. At the same time they have to drink water, and at the same time they have to protect themselves from the other space dust particles. They use space suit to travel outside the spacecraft.